Hello, adventurers. It's your man Zero here, your favorite hero. Guys, in this one, we're going to be going over Matt and his weapons and see exactly which weapon you should prioritize in getting to level 120. This character is by far one of the sneakiest and best characters that we have in this game. His roster is fantastic. Let's check it out. Alright guys, so I got everything all loaded up here, and then let's just go and start off by moving anything that is a free-to-play weapon down to the Never. You guys are not going to be leveling these up past 80, maybe push it to 90 these days, but overall, the free-to-play weapons are fantastic as filler, but they're not ones that you want to focus on getting to 120 at this stage. So we're going to put them there, we're going to let them sit there. That's where they can be forever. We're going to be getting brand new free-to-play weapons in the future with stronger attributes. Those ones will take precedence over these ones anyway. But definitely make sure you get him to OB10, just so that way you can have a bunch of OB10s for your high wind achievements. Make sure you're doing that. Next, let's start off here with the broadsword. All right, so the broadsword itself is a pretty solid weapon. It does a good amount of P attack damage at 90% with some crit chance, which is nice. But overall, the weapon for our abilities is it's okay. It's mediocre. I'm going to be putting it into A. It is a very solid weapon with P attack of 46 and lightning ability potency. The lightning potency is really nice, especially if you want to put this weapon on the backhand of, say, like Cloud with his lightning cloud build. That would be a fantastic backhand weapon for him with that P attack and that lightning potency. Next, we have the Orthodox Raven, and this is a beautiful weapon in general terms of design. It does water attack all enemies, so not really the greatest there in terms of damage, just because all abilities are usually a little bit weaker with 540% potency, so not the strongest weapon in terms of DPS. The R abilities themselves are HP at 46 and water potency increase, and right now we do have a few characters with water potency that it's needed, so I am actually going to be putting this right into A here. It seems like a really good place where you put it on the backhand of Glenn, make him a little bit more beefy, get his water attack up just a little bit higher with that brand new axe that he got. All right, next up we have the Absolute Royale, beautiful weapon with magic attack of 46 and ice potency. So because it has ice potency, I am going to be putting it up here into S, just because this weapon with magic attack is an amazing weapon to put on the backhand of Sephiroth. So this weapon here, I do suggest getting a little higher. It does all attack damage if you are wondering what kind of hit it does to the enemies. So that means that it does do like a little bit lower at 540 potency, but amazing R abilities. Definitely a weapon that I suggest getting to 110. That way you can put it on the backhand of Sephiroth. Next up, we got the Prime Number, and Prime Number is a really solid weapon. We use this pretty much in all of our map builds, let's face it, at least for a little while until we got Centipede. And this weapon here, I'm actually going to put it into B because it got overshadowed by Centipede. Its R abilities are decent at HP at 31 and lightning resistance. So because it doesn't have a secondary R ability of like attack type, I do put them a little bit lower on our list, as well as the heal at 31 isn't the best of the heal weapons that we could possibly see or put on the backhand of any of our main healers. So B is a really good place for it. I think this weapon, if you're going to be using Matt in general, this is a weapon that you probably want to get up to 110, but not 120 worthy in my opinion. So I'm going to put into B. It's kind of a controversial placement for it because we do use it so frequently, but I think that having it at 110 and sitting there maybe 100 is a nice place to leave it. Get a lot of copies of it, use it for its skill, but for our abilities, it's not one that you want to get up a little higher than that. Next up, we got the Rapier. Rapier, I'm actually going to be putting right up into S, and the reason why is because it has magic ability potency at 52, which is nuts. So really solid weapon for our abilities. It also has magic defense at 31, which isn't the strongest of the R abilities, but that boost magic ability potency is massive. We don't have that many weapons with boost magic ability potency. We are starting to see them a little bit more, but right now, that's probably one of the highest that I currently have in my roster, and that you probably have in your roster as well. So this weapon perfectly is situated in the S. Let's keep it there. Beautiful spot for it. Next up, we got our Core Defender, and Core Defender is a pretty good weapon with magic attack of 31 and water resist. So this weapon is probably going to find a place in the hearts of many once Leviathan is released, but right now I do want to put it into B. I think that's a really good solid place for it, as its abilities are okay. It does do a magic defense increase for all the characters, so that's really solid for terms of survivability. And if you do need to have magic defense and water resistance for Leviathan, this weapon is going to be massive. But for all other content, this one is probably going to be a B. Let's keep it there for now. And then in the next weapon that we have here is the Centipede, and this Centipede is what has put the prime number to shame. This weapon here is fantastic with it at 120 R6. I couldn't find the points for 90 R10. It sits at 54 heal, so right, you can see there it's a freak of nature when it comes to a heal, and it has boost, debuff and debuff extension. So fantastic weapon to put on either Matt or even Aerith or even on Tifa, right? If you're building a healing Tifa. So huge weapon, definitely worth the S plus ranking. One that I would highly suggest you put to 120 format as soon as possible. Next up, we got the Stingray, and Stingray is a really good weapon, but it's not the best. I'm going to be putting it up here to B. I think that that's a nice place for it. It has P attack at 31, as well as a boost of wind resistance, and we don't have any really main enemies that have a lot of wind damage. So this weapon here kind of can sit in B until we have content that really needs it. But right now, it shouldn't be a prioritized weapon. So I'm going to put it there. It's a good place for it. It does do magic defense decrease, which is nice, but with that, our ability of wind resistance, it doesn't really have a place yet. It's a little bit too niche for me for a general increase in terms of levels. So let's leave it there. It's a good place for it. And now we got Killer Hornet. Killer Hornet is a phenomenal weapon. It does belong in the S plus, in my opinion. It has boost attack potency of, or rather, physical attack potency of 46, which is solid, as well as boost physical ability potency at 39. This weapon is one of the weapons that I almost put on every single one of my physical attack builds. Huge weapon to get up to 120, very highly suggested. It does do a decent amount of damage as well at 720 potency. Good weapon to get increased, as well as a really good weapon to put on the main hand of Matt. Next up, we got Bramble Spine. Bramble Spine actually has a really good amount of heals as well at 46, and it has magic defense increase at 39. So this weapon itself is pretty solid, so I'm going to put it up into S. Definitely one. If you don't have a lot of core defender, then maybe perhaps you want to get Bramble Spine a little bit higher, just because that one is another one that you can put on any of your healers. They'll be a little bit more beefy with that defense, and that heal at 46 is solid. So S is a really good place for it. And finally, we got Slick Beetle. And Slick Beetle, honestly, I was contemplating between S and A. For a long time, I had it in S, but I actually think it's more of an A slotted weapon with boost HP at 46 and crit and potency. And crit is starting to find kind of like a niche and a place in the game, but right now it's still not. The probability of crit is a little bit low. This one might be really good on like the backhand of Kate Sith if you have their garb, but in general, crit potency is probably going to be a little bit lower on our expectations or on our wants, and the HP at 46 is solid, but there are better HP weapons out there. So I think A is a really nice place for it. Get that weapon up to 100, 110. That's a good place for it for now. You are not going to be putting that up to 120 anytime soon, but it is a solid weapon, so don't fret if you have that weapon. Definitely use it. It does do P attack decrease as well for the enemy, so really good for battling level 70 on the Citra Towers. And that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the content. Do please like, sub, and subscribe. And if you got a difference of opinion about these, do tell me in the area below. I'll catch you guys later. Be well, adventurers. Take care.